You drive past his house every week, and you never look twice. The lawn is ordinary. The car in the driveway is the kind nobody photographs. The man inside it owns more than most of the people you envy. He is, by any honest measure, rich. He has simply chosen not to look it. And the man on the next block, the one with the car that turns heads, he owes more than he owns. In the early 1990s, two researchers set out to study the wealthy. Their names were Thomas Stanley and William Danko. They wanted to interview American millionaires to learn how the rich actually lived, so the rest could learn from them. So they did the obvious thing. They went looking in the expensive neighborhoods, the big houses, the good addresses. And there they found a surprise that would define their entire work. Many of the people in the most expensive houses were not, by the numbers, wealthy at all. They had the income, they had the cars and the watches and the address. What they did not have was wealth, the quiet, accumulated kind that stays when the income stops. Meanwhile, in the ordinary neighborhoods, the modest houses, the older cars, Stanley and Danko kept finding people who had quietly built fortunes. The millionaire, it turned out, was usually next door, and he looked like no one at all. This is the idea that gives their book its name, The Millionaire Next Door. The wealthy are not who you think, they are rarely who they appear to be. There's a saying in Texas, older than the book, that Stanley was fond of: big hat, no cattle. It describes a certain kind of person. The hat is enormous, the boots are tooled leather. Everything about the man says rancher, says fortune, says land. And behind the fence, nothing, no herd, no acreage, the costume of wealth worn over an empty field. You know people like this. Perhaps on some quiet evening you have wondered if you are becoming one. The lease on the car that signals success, the watch that says arrived, the dinners, the labels, the constant low expense of looking like more than you are. Stanley drew a line between two kinds of people. He called them the income statement affluent and the balance sheet affluent. The first kind earns a great deal and spends nearly all of it. Their wealth lives entirely in the flow, in what comes in this month and leaves by the next. Stop the income and the whole structure goes dark. The second kind may earn less and keeps far more. Their wealth lives in what they have set aside, the balance that remains when the earning stops. One looks rich, the other is rich. They are almost never the same person. One detail from the research stayed with readers more than any other. Many of the millionaires Stanley studied did not buy new cars. They bought used, they drove their cars for years. They were, by his account, more likely to be found in a dealership's pre-owned lot than its showroom. Think about what that requires: to have the money for the new car and to walk past it anyway, to feel the pull of the showroom and decline it, not because you cannot afford it, but because you have decided what the money is for. This is the engine beneath the whole thing. Stanley's word for it was thrift, but a better word might be patience, the willingness to let money sit, to let it compound in silence while the neighbors trade theirs for applause. The new car loses value the moment it leaves the lot. The dollar saved, left alone, grows. One is a cost worn as a costume, the other is a seed. Most people, given the choice, choose the costume because the costume can be seen and the seed cannot. Here is the part that is easy to miss. The expensive life is not only expensive to buy, it is expensive to maintain. The large house demands a large mortgage, larger taxes, more to heat, more to fill. The fine car demands fine maintenance. The lifestyle that signals wealth has a way of consuming the very wealth it is meant to signal. And there is a quieter cost still. The man who looks rich must keep looking rich. He becomes a servant to the image. Each year the signals must be renewed, replaced, upgraded. The hat must get bigger. The cattle never arrive. The millionaire next door carries none of this. He owes nothing to the image because he never bought into it. His freedom is not loud, it does not announce itself, but it is real and it is his, and no one can repossess it. That is the trade Stanley's millionaires understood. They gave up the look of wealth to keep the thing itself. They let the world underestimate them and used the quiet it bought. So consider the two men once more. One is performing wealth for an audience that will forget him by morning. The other stopped performing long ago and found that no one was really watching anyway. The question Stanley's research leaves you with is not how much do you earn. It is quieter than that. When the earning stops, and one day it will, what remains? If a single idea from this is worth keeping, let it be this one. The point of money was never to be seen having it. It was to reach the day you no longer need to chase it. If this found you at the right hour, you might stay a while. There are other quiet ideas here, 2 new ones each week, for anyone learning the difference between looking rich and being free. Wealth is not what you have, it's what you no longer need to chase. Until next time.